Welcome back, softies, for another episode of the Soft Knocks podcast.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Well, no movie this week, huh?
No, but I was thinking about that. We should have watched Draft Day.
Oh, yeah. At the time, I loved that movie. And I watched it again. I'm like, this would never happen. It is so far-fetched.
So I was trying to cram for the NFL draft, and I don't remember what I was looking at, but it might have been just Twitter or Instagram or something, and someone was saying that they should make a sequel to Draft Day. And then someone commented, no, they shouldn't make a sequel to the movie. It should be a TV show that has a season every March and April.
Starring Kevin Costner.
Well, I don't know. John Dutton's got other stuff going on.
Yeah, he knocked up a co-star, I heard.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's just a rumor. I don't know.
Well, there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I was thinking draft tonight and then watch the draft next week. You said you can't do it, but us sitting down here while the NFL takes an hour to do 5 picks is probably going to be terrible.
Well, yeah, I completely forgot about this concert that she's going to.
What concert is she going to?
Zach Bryan, the country guy. But I got the kids. So I better.
Life of a parent.
Yeah, it's all right.
Frankie, this is our 15th episode. Last fall, when we were drunk and came up with this idea, is this? Do you think it would last 15 episodes?
I didn't think we get to episode 1.
I know.
I thought that was just drunken talk.
It mostly was, but honestly, it's the group text fault, really. They didn't think we were serious, and then I had to call it bluff.
Do you see, they are cheering for our failure.
You can't be a failure if you're never a success.
I know, but they just no compliments.
No, Anthony in person, he likes it. He gives us some shit in the group text, but it's most of it's valid. Yeah. I think probably.
You're right. We're not. I'm not we're not top of the charts or anything.
Not yet.
Not even close to a chart. But
yeah.
But no, I did not think it'd last this long. Our few listeners are happy. We're still here. Maybe
it would be interesting to hear from a listener. Are there?
Jeff just calls in. Says fuck you.
You should do a live show, right? I am curious. I know just looking at the stats that there are people listening.
DM us on Twitter
that
X.
I don't know. But it just baffles me that there might be someone out there listening to this that aren't it's not like my wife or my dad or something.
Yeah. So, no, I know that is. But we appreciate it.
But it's April.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL draft is next week.
Yep.
Means football's back.
Football is back. Then you'll get mini camps, right? Rookie mini camps, and
yep. And then all of our hopes and dreams will be trashed in preseason when someone blows out a knee,
or retires, like when you.
Oh yeah.
When you drafted Andrew Luck.
Oh, that was a great.
He retired that night.
I still might have won that year. Actually, I couldn't tell you.
Oh, that was funny.
Before we get to the NFL draft, let's talk about the Masters. Did you watch any of the Masters?
I did. I watched most of Friday, some of Thursday. I missed a lot of Saturday though. I watched up till you knew Scotty was going to win.
Yeah.
Then I stopped watching because I had somewhere to go. But
I can't remember what I was doing on Saturday. I watched a bunch of it. I watched a lot of it. It was on. I was working from home on Thursday and Friday. It was on the whole time.
The ratings weren't great.
Yeah, it's an interesting deal. But I think you've been seeing that from a lot of the golf stuff, and I think it's just I don't know. It's never been golf is hard to be a big ratings get because it's golf. If you're not into golf, it's pretty fucking boring. So I don't know.
And Scheffler's kind of boring, but he's really great.
Yeah. He plays a boring brand of golf when he just dominates and no one else has a chance. But yeah, I got to watch a bunch of it. Sunday, Mia was actually she's like, hey, I'm going to go watch nephew's soccer game. out in Indianola, and so I'm gonna go out there. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And then the kids wanted to go too, and so like I had some stuff I was doing like outside and whatnot, and I got a bunch of stuff done around the house, but golf comes on, and I got to watch like an uninterrupted from like when the regular broadcast came on until he won. I just got to watch it. Yeah,
fully erect the whole time. Sunday master by yourself.
Thursday through Sunday. So I got to watch a lot. It was really good. I think
we didn't
everybody
win that pool, by the way.
No, we did not win the pool. Like we both picked Scotty for the top tier, which turned out well.
Yeah.
I think. Even after like day one, like I thought we had a chance. I had Bryson and Scotty, and then I had someone else that was like under par after day one. I was like, oh, we got a shot. We were up there in like the top 10. And then, like I didn't even have 4 guys make the cut, so it just ruined it for me. But man, I was really rooting for Max Homa.
Yeah, I like him.
He's a fun guy to watch. He like interacts with people.
He's
on
a fun
Twitter.
personality too.
Yeah. He does this like roast my swing thing on Twitter, which is great. He's like man of the people.
You should send yours.
He'd probably tell me I need to go on tour. No, he was.
It's the only one he can't roast. He's like, flawless.
I wish. Terrible. But yeah, it was a good tournament. I'll have to go back and look at like prior years, but it felt like it played pretty tough this year. There was only, I think, like 8 golfers under par, which feels a little light for Augusta. That feels more like a U.S. Open than it does the Masters, but it was cool. Like, I mean, Scotty played really well. Like, on Sunday, I think at one point there was like 3 or 4 guys like tied or within one of the lead. Mm-hmm. Like, pretty, decently into Sunday's round. So
that amateur looked pretty good until he went in the water. What was his name? Or was he an amateur?
Are you talking about Ludwig, the guy who got second? Yeah, not an amateur, but he turned pro last year, so he's brand new. This was his first major, not just his first Masters, but his first major.
Yeah.
That guy is going to win some golf tournaments. Like, he looked unflappable.
Yeah,
until
he was pretty
put
calm
one in the water. But he still finished strong. Mm-hmm. Second place in the Masters.
Yeah.
I mean, he's locked up, quite a bit of status for next year. So
saw Scotty went to a dive bar after.
Oh God, that might be my favorite story. Did you hear?
I think that's what I did.
Did you hear like all about what it was? What happened? So
no, why just know
not a bar in Augusta, a bar
Texas.
Where he's from. So he gets home. His wife picks him and his buddies up from the airport.
Still not in labor.
At like 1 a.m. or midnight or whatever it was, and like she was good with it. She hung out with them. Like,
she's got a lot of money. She's
pregnant and she's at the bar at like 1 a.m.
That's awesome.
And with him and his buddies. And he said like it's not a bar that he normally goes to. The one that he was near that he would normally go to was closed, and so like this place was open. And he went in there wearing the jacket.
Can you imagine just being like a local drunk there and seeing the Masters champ walk in?
God, I wouldn't believe it. I would have thought it was just some joker wearing.
Because I'm not sure I'd recognize him if he walked in your basement right now.
Yeah, no, in a crowd full of people, like probably not.
No hat on. Yeah.
But yeah, so he said like I heard an interview about it, and he said that she was all up for it, and they went there, they hung out for a while, and then he's like, yep, she had to finish her Heineken 0, and then we went home. But that's a cool story. I thought that was pretty cool. Because he doesn't strike me as a guy who goes out and drinks a lot. No. And so I thought that was pretty surprising.
I bet those snotty Masters people didn't like him being in that place.
No, he might get in trouble.
That is so obnoxious.
Augusta might like seriously like give him shit for having the green jacket out like that.
It's the most stuffy place.
Yeah, well, it is. But yeah, it was a good tournament. There was a lot of disappointment there though. Like I was really rooting. I wanted to see Woods do something.
Made the cut.
Made the cut. He played all 4 days, which I think last episode I mentioned, like, let's see the guy even finish a tournament before we get too far ahead of ourselves.
It looked painful, though, at times.
Yeah, he just did not look comfortable. I think he's done. If he's ever going to get amped up and play for, and really get himself ready for a tournament, you think it'd be the Masters, and he just just didn't have it. I mean, he was 16 over for the tournament.
Yeah, that Saturday. I didn't see it, but it was bad, I heard.
You know, maybe he plays more and he builds up more of a stamina and he gets to practice more and all of that. But, like, to hear them talk, like, the guy he finishes his round and he immediately has to start getting treatment and preparing for the next day. And then he has to get up early enough so that he has, like, just hours and hours and hours to, like, get his body ready to play golf.
And he was probably really horny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the man gave up sex for the Masters. And after that performance, he might not be getting any either.
And then that goofy guy he played with, that young kid.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of his name. The low-am guy.
They made a big deal about a note that he handed him or something.
Yeah. His last name's, I think he's like something Shipley. Yeah, and like the interview when the reporter asked him that, like you could see him, he kind of gets this look on his face, and he looks right over at
had a couple
an
weird
Augusta guy, and he says like
didn't happen. He
says it didn't happen. He says like him and Tiger on that hole he said Tiger went way right, I was left. Like we were in different zip codes. He said he just looked at the Augusta guy going like, thinking like, who is this guy? Because he said he'd talked to or interacted with most of the media, but didn't know that guy. So I don't know.
I think Tiger's handed him a Perkins waitress's number.
Well, like it's like, you know, there's that whole thing where like Tiger tried to pass JT a tampon when he outdrove him. You know, like I think Tiger has, you know, these guys like they bet and gamble with each other. So like I think they could have been thinking like, oh, maybe you know, maybe they had a bet or something or whatever. Or Tiger's kind of known for taking some younger guys under his wing if he sees, you know, some potential or whatever. So like there was a thought like maybe he was just sliding him his number and saying, hey, you know, give me a call sometime if you need.
What a day for that guy.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. So, that was a good story though. The lot of live guys there.
Yeah.
I think there was like something like 10, 13 guys, something like that. And you know, they did fairly well. I mean, I think there was like
some of the best golfers. I mean,
3 of them were in the top, I'll say top 10, but there was ties at 9, so it was like really the top 11. But Bryson, he was one of my picks on the pool, and he did really well day good. 1, but he just kind of just lost it over the weekend. But
he's an interesting dude.
I just thought that he would be able to kind of like overpower it a little bit. But
he's
then I was
thinned down a bit.
He has. Like he gave up the big heavy weightlifting and he's kind of come back down. And he still hits it a ton, but he was like hitting the shit out of it. But he was still like, you know, like Scotty was right there with him. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, all that work you put into getting faster, and some of these guys that didn't do that work are still right there with
you. And Scotty's just got like classic white golfer dude body.
Just an oaf. Just, you know, out there having fun.
Doesn't look like he's that great of shape. I mean,
yeah. So I don't know. I love the Masters. I love all the majors.
Yeah, those are fun.
U.S. Open's my favorite. Masters is my second favorite. Mm-hmm. So it was a good tournament. Like if Scotty had just ran away from everybody starting on Thursday, that would have been a tough watch come Saturday and Sunday. Like if he had just on Sunday, if he was leading by 6 on the start of the day, that would have been a terrible watch.
He fell behind on Sunday a little bit, didn't he? By a stroke or two.
I'd have to go back and look. He might have, but they were all very close through like the front 9 on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then the guys, some of them started making mistakes, and Max Homa couldn't make birdies to save his life. Like
Scheffler just doesn't make many mistakes.
No, he's hitting the ball too well, and you know the guy his putting's improved a little bit, and just that's enough to just make him that much better than everybody else. So good tournament.
How many majors is that for him? Is that just 2 or is it
so this is second green jacket.
Is that the only one?
Yeah, I think that's all he's got.
It's kind of surprising.
He's got a legit shot at winning a couple more this year. I mean, it's been a while since the person who won the Masters you could look at and go, they have a legitimate shot of winning the Grand Slam inside of a year. He really, I'll see what he does at the U.S. Open, but you know, probably since that year Spieth won the Masters and then I think the U.S. Open.
Man, he fell off.
So yeah, There's another one. I love watching Spieth and JT and a lot of those guys, and they just
fall off.
Poor tournament, you know. JT was like a lock to make the cut on Friday, and then he went, like 7 over on his last 4 holes or something. And missed the cut. Like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. That guy's a world-class golfer, and he just fucking shit the bed like that.
He's been pretty bad lately. I think you could take him.
I don't think I could take him.
Anthony could.
No. You haven't seen Anthony swing a golf club. He's not beating any of these guys.
Oh. One last story that I thought was kind of funny is the lottery at the Masters. I guess the media, like, enters it, put their name in to win a round of golf.
Okay.
At Augusta, and people are up in arms because some lady, local news, put hers in and she won it. She's never swung a golf club in her life.
Oh, fuck.
And she won it to go play the whole round, and people are like...
That would irritate me a little, too. I'm not going to lie. It kind of irritates me right now.
I think it's hilarious.
Like, Augusta is this...
She's going to be hacking that...
Augusta is like this mythical place that
girl that's
people,
never played.
You can't play it.
Yeah.
Like, even the members. So get this. The course is not open year round. Like, the members don't even have the opportunity to play it all year round. Because all it is a prep for the Masters, right? So you can be a member at Augusta. And I think I heard that the course is only open for them to play it for like a couple months a year. Like a month maybe. And it's before... and it might be like early in the spring, right? So before they like heavy prep for the Masters, but like it's probably still kind of shitty weather. The rest of the year, it's all about getting it ready for the next Masters, I think. You know.
So how much is membership?
I don't think it's something that you can even get now. I mean, I imagine it's like full, and I bet it is just an astronomical ask, like to get into that. Even getting tickets to the Masters.
Yeah,
is a nightmare. Like I put my name in the ticket lottery every year, and I always get the decline. And people talk about it.
It's snotty there. I just can't take it.
Well, it's like they want to limit the number of fans. You know, they don't want it overrun. You know, it's very particular. Like you can't have your cell phone on the grounds. You can drink, right? Yeah. It's all reasonably priced up. It's all old school pricing, right? So like, you could go there and for like $10, you could probably get yourself a sandwich, a beer, and a cookie. You know, it's pretty crazy. Like you go to the Waste Management Open, it's probably $10 for the one beer.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of crazy rules. The amount of merch sales they do is like 10 mil.
Yeah, I read that.
The lines are just
the merch.
hours and hours to get merch. People go there and they've waited a decade to get the opportunity to get tickets into the Masters, and then they go there and then they spend thousands of dollars at the merch tent. I'm not gonna lie, like I'd spend some money there, but man, could you even imagine me dropping like $1,000 or $2,000 on shirts and mugs? And
I think I'd get a hat and call it good.
It wouldn't take much, you know. $1,000 is probably like, you know, a few 4 or 5 shirts, a hat, and a couple other things. But it's a crazy thing. It's just this like mythical place that people, you know, you can't go play it no matter. You know, you could have all the money in the world, and it's not like you could just walk up there and be like, "Hey, I've got $500,000. I want to play." They probably wouldn't let you play.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about it.
Yeah.
So when's the U.S. Open? Is that
Father's Day weekend?
Oh, that's right.
It's my favorite golf tournament because when they ask what I want for Father's Day, I can just say I want to be able to watch golf, and I don't want to catch any shit for it. I usually tell like my parents and brother-in-law and whatnot, like, hey, Father's Day weekend, Father's Day Sunday, like we're gonna grill out. Everybody come on over. You know, I'm gonna have the golf tournament on. We'll have some beer. But it's just an excuse for me to like hang out and watch golf and not get any shit for it, really.
All right, NFL draft. Where do we want to start? I think we all know number one.
Well, before we get into that, So I feverishly tried to do some research
That's more than I did.
on the old NFL draft today. I realized I was on The Athletic, and I realized why I could never be like a professional at any of this stuff.
Scouting or just mocking?
Well, I can mock.
Yeah, nobody
best of
holds you to how good you are.
But I was just looking at, like, they had their, like, a draft guide, and they had this one, and it was like, I forget what they called it, like the Beast Draft Guide or something. And you had to download it because it was a PDF, and it was 320 pages of, like, in-depth analysis about every player in the draft.
Just hand size, 40, long jump.
I looked at this, I'm like, somebody has spent a ton of time putting this information together, and they have, like, really thought it through. They've prepped, they put it in this nice little package. They've got, like, all of this stuff, and I'm thinking, here I am, and I'm just like, I'm looking for, like, a few little fucking snippets to like shoot the bull about. I'm like, good God, I can't imagine having the patience to put something like that
Well,
together.
you learned that Bo Nix's aunt was in Fleetwood Mac, didn't you? Is that what you told me?
I can't believe no one got the joke.
Oh, Stevie Nicks.
Yes. I mean, I was doing...
I thought you were fucking serious.
No, I text that today, and I was so disappointed
Crickets.
that nobody got the joke, or if anybody did, they didn't make fun of me. I expected someone to make fun of me.
I was at lunch and just briefly looking like, oh, interesting. Didn't even put it together till now. Okay. So we were already giving out fake news.
It's a completely different spelling.
So it was a terrible joke.
Yes.
Okay.
On purpose.
Okay, well, I just thought you were serious. I could see a draft guide saying that. They say everything.
That's great. That made my day right there.
So just to be clear, Bo Nix,
Not related to Stevie Nicks.
not related to anybody in Fleetwood Mac. All right.
Correct.
I was going to say, I'm moving up my mock draft for that.
So I can't do, like, I could sit here and try and do a mock draft, but I don't know enough about any of this. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, like...
Well, even the professional mockers, you look at after the fact, they're not usually
Yeah.
that accurate.
Should we talk about the teams we care about?
Give me your top 5 first.
Top 5. I mean, I think it's pretty easy. I think it's Caleb's going to go number 1. Some
Dude with
version
the elbow.
of Daniels, May, and J.J. McCarthy are going to go off in the next the first 6 picks, right? So I think pick 2 is, I mean, everybody's saying Daniels, but I think May's the better quarterback.
You're scared of that elbow. It's been haunting your nightmares.
It has. Like, I would,
Jaden
if the
Daniels.
Bears were to draft him, I would hate it. Like, I just like, that's no good. And then I think that's where Washington's going to go. I think it'll be him, and then New England will go Drake May, and then it's a matter of, like, where pick 4 and pick 5. All right, so pick 4 Cardinals. They don't need a quarterback.
No.
And so the question is, are they going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. or are they going to trade down?
I think they'll trade down to, I think possibly the Vikings or the Giants.
That's a possible. That's a common theme.
I think one of those two teams will trade up and reach for McCarthy.
Do you think the Giants are going to try and go for a quarterback?
I do. I don't think they. I think they got to be really regretting that contract
Oh, certainly.
to Daniel Jones.
And they have to be regretting their wins against New England and
Philly.
Washington.
Washington, wasn't it? Yeah.
You know, both those guys now are going to get, like, they're a franchise quarterback, and, you know.
And I don't know. J.J. McCarthy, I don't think he's going to be that good. But
I don't think he is either. But there's also talk like L.A. might trade down. He's been what's his name? That
Harbaugh?
Harbaugh has been talking him up, you know, and I just wonder sometimes if he's just like playing chess, like
He's
just
a weird
talking
dude,
him
yeah.
up, like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like he coached him, all that, and then like he's gonna draft him there, getting somebody to try and trade up and get some more draft.
Well, there's
capital.
no way the Chargers will draft McCarthy.
No, they would. It would be stupid.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I think they might trade down, and that also could be to the Vikings. Mm-hmm. There's also talk like the Cardinals could trade down to the Vikings and then use those couple of those Vikings picks they got to like trade back up to the top with the Chargers, and so they could still get Marvin Harrison. But who knows?
I'm going to go with trade on that, though. I don't think the Cardinals will be picking there. I think they'll.
The crazy thing is that they already have like 11 draft picks. Mm-hmm. And then that you're going to get a haul. If you trade out of that, like you're at least getting both of the Vikings first-round picks, probably.
Yeah.
So, sure, I think it's a brilliant idea, really. I hope the Vikings do. Because you know what? Fuck them.
If they do one with the Giants, they could still get either Marvin Harrison or that Adunze, which I think they want a receiver.
They need one.
Yeah. So
it's just like the Giants. Like, what do they have? What else do they have? I guess. I mean, you can always just trade future picks, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be future picks. Those are pretty valuable to these teams.
The Giants.
They're a mess, though. Yeah.
It would be so New York Giants of them to draft a slightly better Daniel Jones in J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I don't see it with McCarthy. I don't get I mean, all he had to do.
He's a good quarterback. That's all. He is not a top 5 first round draft pick.
I mean, he had a dominant running game there where he just handed it off.
The Vikings would probably be better off not trading up and just going with one of the next 3 quarterbacks.
I agree. I would take Penix, Bo Nix, one of those 2.
Yeah. Hell, you could maybe even wait to round 3 and get like Spencer Rattler and just take a shot. Mm-hmm. And if he's no good, then you're just terrible and you get a high pick next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean this year, like the top 5 picks, like it's going to be 4 QBs. I don't know, man. 5 or yeah. 5 picks, 4 QBs, 1 wide receiver.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, 4. Yeah. I would still think Marvin Harrison would go ahead of Adunze.
You should, yeah. They speak of him like Caleb Williams, like a generational talent.
Can't miss.
So,
all right, you want to get your team? You go. You go for yours. Is more exciting.
Bears. I don't know. Like they only have 4 draft picks,
but they got 2 in the top 10.
Yeah, they do. I know that's nice, but they just.
And I think they had a good offseason.
I know.
I wish they didn't because I like when they're bad.
I really wish they had kept Fields. Like even if you're going to draft Caleb, like I think the trade they made for Fields was not very good for the team. I think it was great for Fields, and if that's what they were doing, awesome. But you know what? Fuck that. Like, just you got to do what's right for the team, and I think you should have kept him. That would have maybe put it out there that maybe you were willing to trade that number 1 pick, and then maybe you get like a crazy offer. Well, let's say Washington was like, hey, we're going to trade you the number 2 pick and like our number 1 pick next year and, whatever, something else. And like at that point, oh man, is Caleb Williams that much
Part of me
a
thinks
lock?
they just fell in love with Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
I don't think they were going to trade that.
But still,
it was his nail polish that got him.
Draft Caleb, and then as soon as someone goes down in the preseason, like they're gonna come calling for people, and Fields is there. I mean, they just didn't get a lot. Like if he doesn't play half the season and it's just a 6th round draft pick, like what a waste. Yeah. So
and maybe they were doing it to be for him. But fuck that. I
And
agree.
if that's the case, and somehow that like ends up making like players want to play for the Bears, like okay,
I don't
like,
really buy into that.
I don't know. I mean, these guys, it's just about money anymore,
Yeah.
so I don't know. But whatever, they've got the number 1 pick overall.
They're going.
Everything I've read, as much as like his attitude and the way he acts, like does not really jive with me. He grades out as the best quarterback in the class.
Yeah.
By a good margin. So I don't know.
And then they got the 9 or 10.
9. So
So they could trade down there too and pick up. You said they only have 4 picks.
yeah, they only have 4.
So that's one you could trade.
They should
Trade down,
trade down a little bit,
Yeah.
and
pick up another second or third, or
it would be nice. I think that would make a lot of sense. I don't know if it'll end up that way. I think they'll.
I keep seeing receiver, but aren't they pretty good there?
They are, but it's limited, right? So like Keenan Allen is
Older.
probably a 1-year rental. Like it's probably not something that sticks around long term. They let Darnell Mooney walk. He's in Atlanta now. So
I would assume if they're going receiver, it'd be Neighbors if he gets. Cause
yeah.
Dunze and Marvin.
So
will be
there's
gone.
this Caleb Williams. Some have compared him to Aaron Rodgers, and some have compared Dunze to Devontae Adams. So there's this thought like just draft the duo.
compare. Well, I've been compared to Elvis Presley before. Doesn't always work out.
No, it doesn't. So like,
So they're just
But it
wanting to
would be-
reunite Aaron and Devontae.
it would be so like the Bears though to do that, right? They draft Caleb Williams, they get this guy that they, it's like all right, we've got the best, they're rookies, we got the best quarterback and the best wide receiver, and then they'll both bust, and it'll be just like the Bears to bust with 2 top 10 picks.
This Caleb would be one of the bigger busts with all the hype.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they're going to end up. If Adunze's there, I think they draft him. If Neighbors is there, they certainly will. I don't think Neighbors will be there, but if he is, then certainly they will. I would argue that the right play, the smart play, is probably offensive line.
Yeah, that's what
I just. It's a good class for the offensive line. There's going to be a shitload of them drafted in the first round. I mean, you're going to invest in Caleb Williams, you might as well get some help to protect him. He's already known as someone who sits in the pocket a little too long. Doesn't, he's waiting for the home run, so he sits back there a little too long. You better hope you can protect him.
I know
don't know.
nothing, but I would go with O-line as well.
Yeah, when in doubt, go with the trenches.
Or a D-line if there's a stud.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, like that's a need. They need another edge rusher, but
that one guy.
I just don't think. I still think offensive line. I think just
Dallas Turner's the stud edge guy.
Oh man, he'd be a great pick for the Cowboys. A guy named Dallas.
If he fell to 20, what? Yeah, my Cowboys. That's not that exciting unless they make some move. They need a lot. They let a lot go, but they really need O-line, and I'll be kind of upset if they don't go O-line. I've seen somewhere there's a receiver, that Xavier Worthy, who's like the fastest guy in the draft. That's the more sexy pick, but they really need O-line bad. So I kind of think they'll go there, but who knows?
They need a running back.
They do. I feel you can get those.
Yeah, like you're not gonna go first round with a running back.
No,
but
I think they can get that third round even.
they're gonna have to do something. But like that's another thing where you draft the offensive lineman, and then you can have anybody.
It doesn't
be
really
a running
matter.
back,
I mean,
right?
obviously some are better than others, but no, you can find a quick little dude from the SEC to throw back there.
Who are the guys they have on
Oh,
staff right now? Like Rico
Oh, it's terrible.
Dwaddle and
Rico Dowdell, and they just signed that chubby running back that was on the Rams last year. What's his name? Royce Freeman.
that guy's still in the league.
Yeah, he was cut from Denver, and he started
Jesus.
He started one game, I think, for the Rams when they were without Williams last year.
Wow.
That Dallas has had the shittiest offseason.
they're at a weird crossroads too because they're gonna have to
pay these guys.
Yeah, like Micah and CD and Dak is just an enormous cap hit, but
I don't think they should extend this. Let him play that out. Maybe draft one this year and see what.
I don't know, man. Maybe they have something in Trey Lance. I don't know, but
yeah, there's a reason they made the trade. I would think he's been. I know Dak has his flaws, but he's a decent player. I don't think it's like a need right now.
Yeah, no, he's serviceable.
Yeah,
he's just not getting any younger.
No. I mean, you don't put up those numbers and be a shitty player. Like he's good, I think, but you need other. He's not one that can carry.
He's not that good. Like they haven't gone anywhere.
Well, he's like look at Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I don't think Kirk Cousins is that good either.
They can win. You got to have a team around you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that,
I don't think it's a.
He's not carrying that team anywhere. Like he does.
No, he's carried them by himself as far as he can, which is a first round exit. Yeah. He needs an elite defense, a running game, and CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
I do hope they pay Lamb. I think he's a special player. I don't want the.
If you could only keep one, are you keeping CD or Micah?
That's I don't like Micah Parsons as like a person. I think he's
just an insanely talented player.
I think he's kind of a pain in the ass. I don't like his interviews, but he is so good that you almost, I don't know. I'm sure they'd pick him, but I kind of like Lamb because he's more quiet and.
Well, I think that the old adage about like defense wins championships is sort of overplayed these days. It's a very offensive league.
You do typically need an elite rusher, I guess, or lineman.
Yeah, that'll be a tough decision because you need good players at both those positions. Mm-hmm. Unless you're the Chiefs, you have to have wide receivers.
Pretty much. So, but even the Chiefs got Chris Jones. I mean, he's an elite lineman. So I think they'll get both of them signed, but it's just the Dak thing. I don't know what they're going to do there. They have him for another year, so just play it out.
So it's coming up on the Dallas's pick, and Cooper DeJean's still there.
Oh, I'm taking him.
How would you feel about him on the Cowboys?
I think he's going to be awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people like him.
Are you racist, Jason? You don't think he's going to be good? Because he's white?
Yes. No, I'm just asking the question because they projecting him to go in that range, and Dallas has they have.
I'd be shocked if they took him because Dallas, their strength is probably their secondary or their corners. Yeah, because they got Diggs and Bland.
Is he going to play cornerback or is he going to play safety in the NFL?
The whiteness makes me think they're going to move him to safety, but I think he's starting at corner though. They might.
Yeah,
he's a playmaker. He's a returner too. I think he's going to be a hell of a player.
He is. Wherever he lands, they will.
He strikes me as a Baltimore Raven.
Yeah, and they have a pick at the end of the first.
Yeah,
certainly.
I saw one mock had the Eagles. I hope that's not. But no, and his stats were good on the 40 and bench and all that stuff. And
oh yeah, I think he's going to be a terrific.
Yeah. And he's white. First white corner drafted in the first round, I think I saw.
That's a stat I didn't look up. I don't know.
Am I making this up? Ever? I think I saw.
Just say it with confidence. People will believe
that he will be the first white corner drafted ever.
That's amazing.
In the first round. Yeah. Pretty impressive. But he'll be good. But I don't think Dallas would take him.
Yeah, what's their? I mean, their big need, like you said, is I think offensive
lineman and linebacker are the huge needs they got.
The problem where they're at
and running back
is that like the further you get down that first round, like you're just gonna miss out on the top tier offensive linemen. Because I think there's gonna be a bunch taken after.
There will be. This is a heavy
after pick 6, after pick 5, they'll be. I think you're gonna start seeing him go.
The one stud they do have on. Well, they got 2. Zach Martin, but he's getting older. But Tyler Smith, they got him at about 25. So you can get a good player there. I saw that some center from Duke is what's been mocked there. Graham Barton. Again, they're just boring, linemen, because I don't know enough to show you who's great on the O-line.
No, I couldn't tell you.
So
certainly, you just have to rely on the people who are building out 320-page dossiers
PDFs,
about the draft.
Dossiers.
It's on my word of the day calendar.
Did Hillary Clinton write your word of the day? Your dossier.
Man. And then I think just thinking about our league and the people in it and whatnot.
Vikings.
I want to talk about the Vikings a little bit just because, I
talked to Anthony tonight. He said this is the first draft he's ever been kind of excited
to
watch because they got a couple picks to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I just got a feeling they're going to try to trade up. I don't know if it'll happen.
I think I think everybody's got that feeling, and I think that they've already been trying to. It's just a matter of can they get it done. And honestly, as a Bears fan in the NFC North, I'm happy to see them trade up. Burn those picks and draft J.J. McCarthy. Yeah. I might be wrong. I could be dead wrong, and he could be, I don't know, Tom Brady. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
Particularly, no, because I don't know anything about scouting. I'm an idiot, but I kind of think Bo Nix might he impressed me more watching him in college.
I just think that McCarthy could be better than Bo Nix. He could be better than all of them, but I just don't think it's that much better.
No,
right? So it's
to burn
you're gonna burn 2 first-round picks to trade up to 4th or 5th overall and draft this guy when I think you could get a comparable pick at the end of the 1st, definitely in the 2nd, maybe even in the 3rd. I'm not sure that it's that much better than anybody
Michael
else.
Penix I've seen going anywhere from the 1st, and then some have him drop into the 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, I just
round.
It'll be interesting to see how it actually shakes out. I think that if the Cardinals somehow trade out of that and get 2 firsts out of the Vikings for that spot, I mean, they're making out like bandits. They already have, like I said earlier, they have 11 picks already, and I think 6 of them are in the first 3 rounds.
Jeez.
That's just nuts. And you throw another one in there, they could really quickly turn that team around.
Yeah, they could. They got a quarterback, I think. He's decent, at least. I don't know.
I think he showed enough at the end of last year to show that he
franchise,
can still play. He can certainly play for next year, maybe the year after it. I don't know what he's got a pretty good contract.
I will say the Vikings, if a lot of times I think those top quarterbacks struggle because they go to such shitty situations, but Vikings would be pretty good situation for a young quarterback.
Yeah.
With Addison and Jefferson, Hawkinson.
And then you throw Aaron Jones back there.
Aaron Jones, I forgot about him. I mean, that might help acclimate whoever, but I don't know.
Any quarterback who goes there, I think it's a good situation. I'm just not sold that J.J. McCarthy is a full round of NFL draft capital better than any of the quarterbacks.
Every game I watched Michigan, it was that defense and running game that just suffocated people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so it's just is it hype? What has he shown anybody?
He's a winner. That's all I hear. He's a winner. Yeah. Wow.
This kicks back to this all started when Harbaugh went to the Chargers and started talking like he was going to draft McCarthy. I'm not certain that it isn't just hype, that he hasn't just built this up hey, he was my quarterback,
Don't
he did
pass
great.
On this guy.
I'm going to somehow make it happen for him.
Yeah. Harbaugh's I like him.
Yeah, he's a piece of work.
He told said he doesn't eat chicken because they're a skittish bird.
God. I read something about that.
He's got some of the weirdest quotes.
Oh, man. But after that, so after quarterback, the Vikings, their offense looks good.
Every year it looks pretty good. Yeah.
They need to do something about defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, I assume that would be their second pick, right?
that should be the rest of their picks.
Yeah.
Just next best available defender for whatever
They could
position
get
you need.
DeJean.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
Because what picks do they have in the first round?
Isn't it 11 and 20?
Yeah, see,
something?
they could. I mean, that's the thing is like you have
11 and 23.
right? Like you could pick. I mean, I guess I don't know all the defenders on their team, but you could go like high end defensive player at pick 11,
That's what this mock has.
and then you could go Knicks at
Yes, that's what
23, or I mean, whoever you want.
This one has. They took the top corner available at
There you go.
11, and then they got Knicks at 23. That might,
I think that's the better move.
yeah,
But I'd be willing to bet that they
blow their load on
yeah,
JJ.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. I'm happy for it. It'll be interesting. I just they would be such a better team. Although last year was kind of a lost season because Kirk went down and that.
I thought you said Kirk sucks.
he does suck, but I just said he's not winning anybody a Super Bowl.
Well, very few in the league do that. You can say that about Josh Allen. I don't think is he going to win you a Super Bowl? If he hasn't?
No, he's
So we were pretty much
He's
talking
done.
about Mahomes and Brady.
Should have been Purdy.
Or Purdy, who's got the highest paid positions around him, who I like. Purdy's good, but I mean, it's such a team game. I don't know.
It is.
And you need some luck and some good coaching.
Are you gonna do any betting on the draft?
I thought about parlaying the first 3 picks.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like in
I don't know
order?
if that would pay much. Yeah. I haven't looked at the...
So like the whole Caleb first overall, like the odds are just stupid, right?
And the odds for Jaden going number 2 is starting to get up there.
Yeah, but then like you have to. Those are the two that you could maybe like
May would
maybe it
be-
rolls it because like you got to pick it in order.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I probably will.
I saw some bets out there. Like I was listening to another podcast today, and one of them was talking about how he has a bunch of money on quarterbacks in the first round under 4.5. And so all this talk about like Knicks like sneaking into the first round or not Knicks. Penix sneaking into the first round is like got him spooked because he's sold that it's just 4 quarterbacks.
That'd be a tough bet. I don't know if I'd make that one, but
I mean, it's hard to really it's hard to bet on the draft. Although
bet what color of nail polish Caleb Williams has
you've
on.
bet on All-Star games, so
I have.
like
God, what a sad night that was. It was a depressing Sunday night. I've been in the NBA All-Star game. It's just awful.
I'm gonna take out a home equity loan and I'm gonna bet every dollar I have that the Bears take Caleb Williams.
Yeah, how much can we put on? Is there a limit?
Well, I'm sure DraftKings has a limit on us. Like I have no idea what it is though.
They just get a last-second blockbuster offer. Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, no, it wouldn't matter if as long as whoever was picking first overall
that's right.
still drafted him.
Oh yeah, then you're pretty safe.
But I think the odds right now are like minus 20,000.
Oh. Jesus.
Can you imagine making a $20,000 bet to win $100 on a college kid and where he's going to go play professional football?
I would if I had the money.
I can never sit and watch the whole draft.
Well, it's fucking 4 days now, or 3 days.
Well, like there's many years like we've been out, like I've been out doing something else, or I've been with hanging out with the kids or something, and it's like you look at the phone and you're like, all right, the pick's in, and like 5 minutes later it still says like the pick is in. Mm-hmm. They got to do something to make it more interesting if they want people to watch. Although, I mean, really, why watch this?
Well, I think they've tried. Like, I don't like the guest pickers.
Oh, yeah.
They bring some little kid up who's sick or whatever and mumbles out a name he can't pronounce. just say the pick. Come on.
I wonder if DraftKings will have like live betting, like guess the next pick.
Oh, I bet so.
Oh, I'll have to look and see. That might be fun. That might be interesting because then, if
you might put a whole quarter on it.
Maybe. to figure out what my unit's going to be this year. Super Bowl pick, not named Kansas City.
What I think, or the
right
odds?
now for this year, next year Super Bowl, not named Kansas City. Can't pick them.
I think Niners will be up there.
If you had to put money on it, who would you put money on to win the Super Bowl?
Not Kansas City would be probably the Niners.
Niners. It pains me. It pains me to say this to no end. I think Green Bay is going to be a sneaky good team next year.
They'll be good.
I am so like unhappy that Jordan Love has turned out to be a good quarterback.
What if he could regress?
I hope he does.
Yeah.
I think there was something like
that's a decent pick though.
Who did they trade? They traded for what's his name? The running back from Oakland.
Drawing a blank. Jacobs.
Yes, Josh Jacobs. And somebody was saying that like Josh Jacobs is like the only starter on their offense that they didn't draft.
Yeah, they got a good front office.
That just blew my mind.
And I kind of didn't understand that trade, like, for a running back. I don't know.
I think he's
got
a lot of miles. He's young, but he's got a lot of miles on him.
He is a workhorse. I think it'd be a probably pretty high fantasy pick next year.
Yeah. Because they got rid of, they got rid of Jones, but they kept Dillon.
He's shitty.
He is, but like, if you were to like everybody kind of always thought like he could be a Josh Jacobs if he had the opportunity, and then he had the opportunity a couple times and never did anything.
Yeah, no, I don't think he'll take too many carries from Jacobs, but
yeah, I think the Niners will be up there. I think Baltimore will be another good.
I kind of think Cincinnati will bounce back with healthy Burrow.
Yeah. And they are going to make another run at it. And
I vowed not to draft Burrow again, so he'll probably have an MVP year.
They didn't trade Higgins, so they've still got their wide receivers. And although, what are they going to do they got that rookie last year who played pretty good at running back. They traded Mixon.
Oh yeah, that fast dude. I can't remember his name.
So they must feel pretty good about him.
A trendy pick will be Houston. I almost feel like there's too much hype there now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Stephon Diggs might ruin that team.
Yeah. He's going to ruin C.J. Stroud.
Yeah,
I bet you Josh Allen's relieved.
They're going to have a good offense in Texas, but I don't know. What do they have for defense?
They were okay last year. I couldn't name you of any.
That'd be interesting, I guess.
They got a good corner. Or safety, one of the two. I can't remember. But that'll be a trendy pick. I feel like Green Bay will be trendy, but they do look pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they won't win the Super Bowl, but it's like I feel like they're on the upswing again with young talent. Like they have young wide receivers, and it's frustrating. I feel like their reset.
I still don't think I'd pick Kansas City.
Really?
Mm-mm. Maybe it's just my hate for them, but
these guys on this podcast today I was listening to were talking about Mahomes, and they were talking about how many first round picks. Like if there wasn't the cap of like you can only trade like 3 years out worth of picks, like if there wasn't a cap, how many first round picks would it take to
trade him
or how many first round picks would you pay to have Mahomes on your team?
I don't know. I don't know if I'd go.
Like one of them, like I don't think you realize
he's awesome, but God, he's got a great system there, great coach.
You just never know, like in a different offense, if it's going to be if it's going to translate.
Andy Reid made Alex Smith look pretty fucking good.
One of them was like, and it was at this point I realized that maybe I shouldn't have been listening to this podcast.
Was it ours?
No. One of them said something like, I don't know, I'd trade 20. 20 years worth of first round picks.
No, you don't do that.
And they're like, what are you talking about? You'd be fired immediately. He goes, yeah, what do I he's like, I'm not going to be there for the 20th first round pick, so what do I care? Which is a solid point, but
I just trade all of them. Period.
Forever.
Forever. That's draft day 2.
Yeah.
Kevin Costner trades every pick. But I'm excited. I always like the first round or two. Then it gets a little...
Yeah, that'll be. I mean, at least for me, like I only have to care about the first 10 picks.
My
first
favorite
9
is the
picks.
after draft grades, like anybody actually knows. Like they give them like...
Yeah, they're just as good at grades as what ESPN puts on our fantasy football draft.
Yeah, nobody... Mel Kiper gives a D to somebody, and it turns out being the best class. I do like to see when Mel always gets mad at least a couple times when people are like argumentative with him. It's just great. I feel like he's never gonna die. He might die on the set.
He's actually just a robot at this point. It's not him.
That would
It's
explain the
AI
hair.
and a robot. Let's think about some stuff for this summer as we approach the actual NFL season, right? Now that we have got this podcast going and we have continued it for a while, like I really think
We've continued it. Do we have it going? I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to torment our league a little bit and make them listen, right? But hear me out. When we pick draft order this year, we release it
On the
on the podcast, and we do it over several episodes. So they have to come back and download
I like it.
and giving us listens.
I like it.
The key will be
My dad just throws his computer across the room when we announce he's picked 12.
and it took him like 12 hours of listening.
He finally found out how to download it. Oh,
The real key is going to be that we're going to have to like draw the order, and then you're going to have to.
they're gonna say we're cheating.
Then you're going to have to keep tight-lipped on it.
Oh, so we'll know. That'll be the hardest part.
Oh, you mean we could just draft one name out of a hat?
That's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking.
We got the kids got a bingo game for Christmas, or maybe it was Easter. I don't know. My parents sent it, and
like the ball.
yeah. We'll just have to assign a bingo ball to each team, and then we'll draw it out of the thing like it's the lottery.
I like that anyway, even if we do it draft day still. But this is a way to get more downloads.
Yeah. We'll have to like announce things. Like we can have some discussion on rule changes. Mm-hmm. We can announce the day of the draft, even though it should be the same basic Saturday every year.
We can invite our listeners to our draft. They'd like
Bunch of random people show up.
a bunch of one, just one really bored guy.
We could turn it from a 12-team league to a 14-team league and give 2 spots to some listeners, the first 2 listeners that DM us on Twitter.
It's a bot and a serial killer.
Okay, I'm going to retract that. God.
They'd still finish better than George, you know that. No doubt. Oh. But no, those are good ideas. I like the draft. Oh, man.
And
Bingo ball.
Should be an interesting year. We can do some picks ahead of the draft of like who we think where people will finish.
A mock draft. That would give away your strategy.